Where's my seatbelt?
Huh?
You're right here.
Yeah, I got stopped by a police officer on the way up here.
Oh, you're kidding
That's
me.
why you're irritated.
He let me. No, I'm not irritated because I'm always like this. First of all, so it has nothing to do. It has nothing to do with the police officer.
Okay, anyway.
And he actually let me go, so I should be in more of a better mood if just for that reason.
It's nice he let you
He
go.
let me go. Yeah.
Were you speeding or what?
Yeah, I was speeding. Yeah, I guess it's just. I guess in Palm Beach County there's different laws here, and not that there's different laws. In Broward and Dade there is no law enforcement on 95. There's no place to even pull over. There's no place to pull over on 95.
Yeah.
So there is no law enforcement when you're in the express lane. So I'm used to taking the express lane back and forth from Fort Lauderdale to Miami, where everybody's doing 85, 90 miles an hour.
Right.
So I was probably doing like 87, and he stopped me, and I was being nice, and he said, "I'm going to write you a ticket," and I says, "Well, I wish you wouldn't, because I really don't think that I should get one. I'm just going back and forth at the same speed from each county every day, and why up here am I getting a ticket and I don't get tickets in Miami and Broward? Do I really have to worry about when I come up here to drive slower? I don't even think about driving," I was telling him. "I just drive." And I says, "It doesn't seem right to me. I know when I do something wrong." I says, "I do something wrong every day that I don't get tickets for." I says, "But this is not wrong to be," you know. And he goes, "Listen," he goes, "obviously, you know, you're a little high strung. He goes, what are you going to pick up passengers?" And he looked at the phone and he saw the address. He wanted to see if I was lying.
Right.
I showed him my phone and he saw the address. He saw the time that I was supposed to pick you up. And I said, "I got to get there early because I got to go back to Miami, take people off a cruise ship. I'm dropping you off. I got to go back to Miami, take people to Miami Airport." So he said, and then he said, "Show me the Miami pickup."
Oh my God.
And I went to my calendar and I showed him 9:30 Miami, 9:30 Miami. And he said, "Okay." He goes, "Just go ahead, be careful." I said, I am careful." And he looked and he saw that I didn't have any accidents. He goes, "How much do you drive?" I said, I do 300,000, I do 100,000 miles a year, I told him. So he said, "Well, you don't have any accidents." He said, "So I'm going to let you go." He looked in the computer and, you know, he saw
Right.
tickets, but he didn't see any accidents. So
Cool.
he let me go. Yeah, so in a way that was great.
Very
I haven't been stopped by a police officer in 5 years, so
That's awesome.
Everybody got
it was
driver's
weird.
license.
It was weird. Yeah, it was very weird.
Eva's got her driver's license.
Hey, we're on vacation. Thank you. Good job. That was pretty cool getting out of that ticket like that.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Yeah,
Standing up for yourself and saying that. I love it. Love that story.
yeah, I got lucky.
A lot of times it's better to be lucky than good.
Yeah, and you know what? And my whole family's police officers in New York, so I kind of I have a very realistic view with them. Like, I didn't put my seatbelt on. I didn't take this radar detector away, because if he was really ready to write me the ticket, because he said he was going to, but he didn't grab the pad. He had the pad on his waist. He said he was giving it to me because he wanted to do an investigation and hear what I had to say.
Right.
But I would have said, "Listen, officer, I know you can give me a ticket right now for having no seatbelt on." And I would have said, "I would prefer if you would do that. Is that possible, so you don't waste your time stopping me and letting me go? Would you write me a ticket for not having a seatbelt?" And then if he would have said, "No, I can't do that," I would have said, "Well, listen, I believe these are against the law for commercial vehicles, aren't they, or not? I don't know. What's the law in Florida, because I'm from New York."
I have no idea.
I would have said that to him.
Yeah.
And he would have said, "Yeah, this is a commercial vehicle. Those are against the law." And I would have said, "Well, obviously, you're more than welcome to confiscate it and write me a ticket for that." I would have said anything to get out of a moving violation. And I know the confiscation of that would have been just a ticket, whatever that ticket is. And then I would have gotten the seatbelt ticket. And that would have been my next plan of action. But he said, "You know what? Let me just see those jobs you got. Let me see those jobs. You work in Fort Lauderdale, Miami." So yeah, I did get lucky. God was with me today.
Yeah, anything's better than a moving violation.
Yeah, man. My insurance is $15,000 a year, and that's with no accidents.
Wow.
It's like if you get in an accident in South Florida, you're kind of out of this business. You can't afford to.
Yeah.
You can't. They'll just cancel you. The insurance will cancel you.
Yeah.
Just one accident. So not anybody can do this. You just literally have to never have an accident.
So how do I set up the pickup on the 17th then?
The same way you you just send us a text message, and I answer them most of the time. I'm answering them, but I have two other partners that do it also, so that they have all the information that I have. They have. We all share the same calendar. 4 guys all share the calendar.
We only have to walk 5.5 miles to find it anyway. I was only 5.5 miles.
It's 5. It's 5. Yeah. All the videos on that YouTube said 5. And then, can't remember now. So, get it out there, it's just, absolutely love it. It's a golf cart. I like using it.
Yeah.
Same size as yours.
What?
Got our suitcases right.
Yeah, they're both in it. We only have 2. I've never gone this way. Have you, Trav?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not jumping on 95 after that guy stopping me at 95. I'll just try that turnpike. The GPS said 95. I purposely didn't want to take it because I didn't want to get stopped again. And it literally is just Palm Beach County. I guess because there's a lot of runoff here. Once you hit Fort Lauderdale, there's no runoff. Since they widen the highway, we're in Dade and Broward, the turnpike and 95 are wider.
Oh, really?
So yeah, so that's like an emergency lane. Back down south, they made a lane out of that. You know what I mean? And then there's no runoff, so that you really can't. You can get stopped on both sides over here too, but it's that down south, the highways are not. There's nowhere to get stopped. So I guess that's one of the reasons why they don't give tickets, because they can't. It'd be too dangerous to stop anybody, I think.
money over.
Yeah. Always hard work.
So how many bags do they have?
Suitcases.
No, we just want to make sure that no one checks in more than 2 bags.
No, we're good. Already been done.
No, I mean each person.
Yes.
So one person doesn't want to check in 3 is what I mean. Because you have
Yes.
to pay them.
Already checked in. Don't worry about it.
Check it out.
That's something like that.
So you grew up in New York then?
I live in New York.
You live there?
Yeah. I'm going back. I usually come down here in the winter and go back there in the summer. I'm ready to go back there now, next month or 2.
You drive up there too.
Yeah. Not this van, another van. This one stays here. This is our YouTube van. On 95, the 18-wheelers aren't allowed to drive in the left lane, and over here they are.
Oh.
That's one of the handicaps of driving on the turnpike. A lot of people don't know that, but 95, the 18-wheelers are not allowed in the left lane.
Oh.
And here they're in all three. You know, and on 95, at least you have that. There is a lot of traffic, a lot of accidents, but at least you don't have to pass 18-wheelers because they're always staying to the right. Here, they always come in the left. It's still cheaper to take the turnpike than it is to take the express lanes. The express lanes are more expensive than the turnpike.
Wow.
Not that that's why I took it, but
It all adds up.
I spent over $100 a day in tolls.
Yeah. Wow.
I spent about $140 a day in gas and about 100 in tolls. So I spent almost about $250 a day in gas and tolls.
Do you work how many hours all day?
I work all day from 4 to 7. I work until I make $1,000, and then I go to sleep. So that's the goal, $1,000 a day minus the $250. So $750 a day. But you drive from 4 in the morning to 7, 8 at night.
7 days a week?
I work 7 days a week. A lot of other guys only do 3 or 4 days a week. But they have families and lives. I drive all the time, except for maybe 1 or 2 weeks out of the year. I go away. Other than that, I work every day. All day, every day.
How many years have you been doing it?
About 10 years. And every 3 years, you need a new van.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you have too many miles on the van. They won't inspect it. When there's that many miles on the van, you don't pass inspection. For this vehicle, you got to pass inspection in Florida. New York doesn't care how many miles you have. New York does a maintenance check. Here they don't do a maintenance check. Here they just check the mileage. And if the van has over 225,000 miles, they put it out to pasture here. And I can put 200,000 miles in a van in 2-3 years. So unfortunately, you have to get a van. In Florida, if you drive as much as I do, you have to get a van every 3 years. This one I've only had for maybe about a year, and it already has, I guess it has almost 200,000 miles. This is a 2022, and it has 200,000 miles on it. Yeah, so it's 3 years old. Not even 3 years old. It's 2.5 years old, and it has 190,000. I guess this says 181, so and it needs an oil change, so it's got to be over 181. It's probably 183 or 185 or something. They stopped making these, which is very unfortunate for this industry. They stopped making this vehicle. They stopped making it. The only newer one there's only 3 years that they made it newer than this, and they made them with 6 cylinders. This is an 8. This is the last year of the 8-cylinder. And out of the 6-cylinder ones, they some of the cylinders turn off when you're at idle. And then when you go, the cylinders kick in, and a lot of the shuttle guys are destroying those engines because of that situation. It's made to save gas, and they're not very good. So even the 3 years after this one, nobody wants them because of that stupid engine, that 6-cylinder and then it goes to 4-cylinder when you're at a light. So it's a lot of people don't want it. So unfortunately, you got to drive the Fords. I have to buy a Ford Transit, which I hate those also. Those are 6-cylinder and plastic. So this industry really is taking a big hit with the shuttles because of the way they're making shuttles now. You know, they're not. That's why if you look at the ambulances are all old. You know why? Because they're old because they have the metal bumpers and they have the V8s and they're heavy duty trucks.
Yeah.
These new vans, they're not really trucks. Like this is the same as that. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that chassis and that engine is the same thing that's in here. And that could withstand, this could withstand what that could withstand. If that fails, this will fail. It's pretty much identical to something like that. These newer vans, they don't even want to make, they won't even get, in New York, I don't know about Florida, but in New York, they won't even permit the ambulances now with the Ford Transit. So there's no, that's the Ford version of the van. The medical association will not permit those vans because of the way those vans are built. And Mercedes helped build that van in Europe. So Ford went to Germany to help them build this new Ford van. And it really is, I mean, it's not very good. I mean, I won't even want to drive it, let alone if you were an ambulance and having to drive in New York City, an ambulance in New York City. Yeah. Yeah, Chevy and GMC are coming out with an electric one like this. That's what they're doing. They stopped making this because they're making an electric one.
Right.
Yeah, that's going to be terrible too.
I think so too.
Yeah, I'm thinking about trying to get a waiver from Dade County to see if they'll let me put a new. When you put a new engine in the van, you're not allowed to reset the odometer. There's no way to reset a odometer. So when you change a van, the van could have 0 mileage. The engine could have 0 mileage on a new engine, but the odometer could still say 250.
Right.
But when you buy a rebuilt engine, a new engine, it comes with the serial number. It comes with all the paperwork. And I'm considering going to Dade County and explaining to them that, in New York, they don't care about the mileage as long as it's maintained. These vans could go 300, 400,000 miles if they're maintained. You're putting them out to pasture at 200, 220. What if we put a new engine in? It costs $7,000 to put a new engine in. What if we put a brand new engine in for $7,000 and show you the paperwork? And they might say, well, it's not just the engine, it could be the suspension, but these vans, you can change anything on the van. So you can really make the van brand new.
Yes.
Like a brand new van. So I am considering that before I buy another one, because next year I have to buy another one. And
That's interesting.
I kind of want to just take these older vans and just put new engines in. It's much safer too. That's another thing I want to tell Dade County. It's safer. They're safer. Got to see where the industry's going down here. A lot of regulation, much more regulation here. You think there'd be more regulation in New York, but there's more regulation in South Florida in this business than there is in New York. Mostly because there's more fraud and more hack drivers and more tourist complaints because of the cruise industry.
Yeah.
People are calling consumer protection like crazy down here. Every day that phone's ringing off the hook. People are saying, I got off the cruise ship and the guy took my wallet, or I left my phone in the car and the driver said he didn't have to find the phone. All these stories. That doesn't happen in New York. Nobody's complaining about drivers in New York. Here, tourists are actually calling up Dade County, Broward County, and complaining about the industry. And what do they do when they hear all those complaints? They start tagging on regulations.
Yeah.
And, it takes a couple of people to say, the air conditioner wasn't cold in the van, or the van smelled. And all of a sudden they're thinking, what? Why are these people driving around with air conditioner that doesn't work? And why are they driving around with smelly vans? Let's just make them all drive 1 or 2 year-old vans. That's what's going on now. This AC kicks in this van.
Yeah, it does.
It's cold, right?
It's ice cold.
I'll make it colder. Can never be too cold. It's summertime, right?
That's right.
Yeah, it can never be. I'm gonna make it as cold as we can. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I just had to get my air conditioning fixed in my car.
My house. I have a house here, and the outside of the house, the outside of the windows, has all green algae.
Oh wow.
Because the outside window of my house is like a waterfall. So it's and at night the iguanas lick my glass.
They get on the glass?
I have a camera, and if you look at my camera, the iguanas all line up and they're all going like this.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Should make a video.
I can't because it's at night. I see
What
it
city
on.
do you live in?
I live in Fort Lauderdale Beach,
Oh, yes.
but it's because I leave my house as cold as it can get before the air conditioner freezes up, which is like 65 degrees.
Oh, wow.
And then when it's really hot outside, and I have really good windows, commercial strong windows, double glass, like an office building, and it's so hot outside and so cold that it just water is dripping down the glass, and then there's all green algae that grows within one day. It's just all the whole bottom of the
So
grass,
you're just feeding the iguanas.
and the iguanas eat the algae and drink the water.
So you got lots of iguanas.
Yeah, and we killed them in Fort Lauderdale. We're allowed to kill them if they're on our property.
Yeah.
Yeah. You guys don't have iguanas up there?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you do?
Oh, yeah.
Do you kill them or no?
I mean, you can. We don't, but I mean,
We don't have them the way other people do it down in Broward, but I love.
Yeah, we have star fruit trees and bougainvillea trees and
Yeah, they love
tangerine.
them.
They love the fruit. They love the flowers.
yeah,
So all me and my neighbors, we go hunting. We all have air guns. And a lot of Sunday morning, there's a church down the street that all the iguanas live in. And when the church is open, all the iguanas know to get out of that parking lot because all the cars are pulling in. Meanwhile, they're sunbathing. They're as wide as this van.
yeah.
They're sunbathing in that parking lot of that church every day. But on Sunday, they know, get out of that parking lot.
Animals are smart.
And guess where they come? On my block. So we just wait there. And when that church opens, all those big iguanas start creeping over, and all of us just take turns. We pick them up, put them in the bag, go right in the garbage pail. We every Sunday we kill about 5 or 6 of them each. Like me and like 5 other guys in my neighborhood. Yeah. If I'm not working, a lot of times I am working,
Yeah.
but we do it on Sunday mornings. Yeah. My neighbor's dog died from eating the iguana poop.
Oh.
Yeah, my neighbor had a Frenchie.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah, she had gotten divorced. She got a Frenchie for companionship.
Yeah.
I was helping her fix her house, and I asked her where her dog was, and she started crying. Her dog died. I said, "Why'd your dog die?" Beautiful black little French bulldog. She goes, "It ate some iguana poop on my sidewalk." I'm like, "Why was the dog outside? You never bring the dog outside. You leave him in the backyard." She goes, "I know. I wanted to walk around the block and say hello to everybody with the dog. Everybody was telling me to bring the dog over. I brought the dog over. I turned around. The dog was eating the poop, and he died 2 days later."
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy. She paid $8,000 for the dog too. Like
Yeah.
6 months.
Those things are expensive.
6 months before, she paid $8,000. Her therapist told her to join Match.com and to get a French bulldog. Her divorce therapist told her that. So she joined the dating app and she got a bulldog.
Oh.
Yeah.
Bulldogs are the best.
Yeah, I don't know how she's doing in the dating app. She didn't tell me. Probably not good. What a bad therapist to tell a woman that.
Yeah, exactly.
Go
There's a lot
spend
of that.
$8,000 and join a dating app. And then they had to pay the therapist for that advice.
Yeah.
The dog died, and God knows what's going to happen to her on the dating app.
Right. Yeah, there's a lot of bad therapists. that's
Terrible,
for sure.
terrible
It's a
therapist,
yeah.
terrible.
Well, number one, a good therapist will never tell you what to do.
Yeah.
Are all the iguanas like different colors, or are they all the green ones? Or
They turn colors. We get a lot of the alpha ones, the really big ones,
yeah,
and they're the ones that you want to kill because they have all the babies.
yeah,
You know, if you kill the little ones, it's good, but it's more important to kill the species.
yeah.
Nothing kills them. Nothing eats them, right? So in South America, where they're from, the snakes eat them.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that's where they're from. They're from South America. The snakes eat them, and here
Yeah,
there's
they're not even supposed to be here.
no. They're not. They're not supposed to be
No,
here.
then what is there even supposed to be here?
But since there's no snakes, big snakes can't eat them. They live forever. They live as long as us. So that's why you got to kill them, because they'll take over. They take over. They took over my neighborhood.
Yeah, you know that.
Yeah, they took over. They're all dead in the street. You see them all in the street. On US 1 Federal Highway, on Sunrise Boulevard, they're all dead in the street. They have roadkill people picking them all up all day long.
Jesus.
Yeah. They're gross. In Miami, the Cubans are eating them. They're putting them in restaurants as gator bites.
Oh, no.
Yeah, the Cubans are putting them as gator bites. They're deep frying them and selling them.
I imagine.
Yeah, Cubans, man. They eat the iguanas down there. Yeah, traffic was definitely better on Turnpike than 95. I'm glad I went this way. I might just make Miami at 9:30. Maybe not, but close. Close. I'll be a little late. I calculate every drive to be an hour.
Yeah.
I book one job every hour. And then it's up to me to make it happen. Otherwise, if I don't do that, I can't make $1,000 a day.
Right.
It's not enough hours in the day, right?
Right.
So take the $1,000, one job every hour. You work 8 hours, should come out to about $1,000,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So every job, you got to hurry up and get it done to get the next one. At the end of the day, you're either going to be on time, you're going to be late, or I try to be early. And the only way you can be early at the end of the day is in the beginning of the day to get on it, right?
Right.
Because everything is backed up. If I'm 10 minutes late for 9:30, see, look, he shouldn't be going in the left lane. Why do you want to go in there? You could go. Why do you want to go? Why do you want to go in that lane? I'm curious, just why?
Got his flashers on down there.
No, he put that blinker wasn't on. I saw him put it on. Sometimes there's a rest stop on the left. I understand that. Because this is the turnpike, right? So they have rest stops in the middle. Then I understand. But there's no rest stop over here. Actually, this far south, there is no rest stops anymore. The rest stops are up there, right? The turnpike rest stops that are in the middle. We're in Fort Lauderdale now. There's none over here. No, only where you live, up there, you can go to the left and get off at the center island and get gas and Dunkin' Donuts or whatever. Here they don't do that. Yeah. Yeah, so we're probably going to take $5.95 each right here. I think that's $5.95 right there. No, not yet. No. Oh yeah, it is. Yeah, we're going to get off right there. 6 miles. We're going to get off on the other highway. Very good. Yeah, I live on this street all the way towards the beach.
Oh, wow.
That's a nice area.
This street over here, yeah, it's nice. Yeah. You know ever heard of the Galleria Mall?
Yes.
I live right by the Galleria. I walk to the mall. I
Nice.
live right by that mall. Yeah.
What's that place that was on the water? What's that called? Is that new place that's they took a old ferry boat and made it into a bar down on the water there? There's a little area they just opened it up.
Oh, downtown Fort Lauderdale development that all the kids are going to. I mean, I don't really know much about that and much about anything else really. I know we have the water taxi there, which is very popular. A lot of people love that. A lot of the tourists I pick up when they got to spend the day here before they, like I pick them up from the cruise ship and they have a late flight, like a 7 o'clock flight out, and they need to spend the day somewhere, so I hold their luggage and I'll drop them off at the water taxi.
Oh, yeah?
And then they'll go on the water taxi that day, and then I'll pick them up later, bring them to the airport. The water taxi is this area right here. If you go east, it goes from, I guess, Port Everglades to Oakland. So this area right here towards the beach, they have the boat that goes in the water. It's got like 20 stops. And it used to be really cheap. Now it's expensive because now tourists take it. It used to be locals, bartenders and stuff take it, and now it's actually like $30 a person. It used to be like $8 a person when I first moved here and was working, and I used to take it every now and then. It was $8 a person. Now it's $30 a person. Track of what's going down there. I'm not really involved in my community. I'm only there half the year, and I sleep there, wake up, go to work, come back, go to sleep. I mean, I don't entertain there. You know, I have a couple of roommates that are in and out. I really don't really pay attention to what's going on. Yeah, this is the only. I should go 84. This highway is so backed up. Yeah, look, everybody's getting on 95 here. It's better to take.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, it's better to take 84. It's better to take this way here. I think this is going to be faster. I hope so. Because everybody lives out west, and everybody has to take that highway to get to the highway. And look at that highway back up. Once you get on that highway, you can't get off, and you're stuck. That's a half hour wait to get to 95. But I bet you if we go this way, it's faster. Because this way goes all the way to the airport, State Road 84. And I've never taken this way, but that's what these people are doing. They're smart. These are locals right here. Because the GPS will tell you, a lot of tourists are on that highway too, going probably in rental cars, going to the cruise ships. But the GPS would never tell you to take 84 down east. So these are locals, and it's probably all tourists and people that don't mind waiting. Yeah, see, this is faster. Look how much faster this is. We would have been in standalone traffic now. Instead, this is moving.
Yeah, it was pretty jammed up.
Yeah, this is faster. See, this runs parallel with 595, State Road 84. Yeah, good idea. Yeah, very good. Yeah, there's no light, not that many lights over here either. They call this Marina Mile. That's the other name for this road.
Marina Mile?
Yeah, the state road, you know, when it's SR, that means that the state named this road. But because of all the marinas and all the deep water, it's really called Marina Mile. So, yeah. When they say Fort Lauderdale's the Venice of America, you look at these waterways, and that'll tell you why. It's because these are all deep water access ways and commercial real estate. So a lot of marinas, if you look to the left, they'll say Marina, 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 and they call it Marina Mile. They named it Marina Mile because of that. Yeah. Yeah, Lester's Diner's on this road. You ever heard of Lester's Diner? Famous diner from I think it says 1965 on the sign. When we pass it, we're going to pass it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we're going to take this to Federal Highway. We're not going to get on the highway. We're going to take this to Federal Highway, make a right. That'll be the fastest way to the airport. And we're going to pass it. I'll show it to you. Actually, one of the best diners probably in Florida. If Florida even has diners, I don't know. But this is an old school Greek diner, which I'm very fond of. Been coming here ever since I've been coming to Florida, because in New York there's a lot of Greek diners too. Like they call them like Olympia Diner and Athens Diner, and this one's just called Lester's Diner. But they are Greek that own it, and and I'm friends with them because I've been coming here for years.
What do you like to eat there?
It's 24 hours a day, so I eat the Greek platter and the spinach pie, which is called spanakopita.
Yeah, we love that.
Yeah, so they have spanakopita. They have a lot of Greek specialties. What else? Pasticho. They have. I like that. The gyros, typical gyros. So we're gonna pass it. I'll show it to you. And I believe on the sign it says since 1965. So, and it's actually right next door to one of the most famous Italian restaurants down here. You ever heard of Runway 84?
Yes, we eat there.
okay, well, we're
Oh
gonna
my
pay.
God, that was so cool.
Well, that's why they call it Runway 84, because
Yeah.
we're on State Road 84.
Yeah, exactly. And they have the little. It's
It
like
it
airplane.
feels like you're in a plane.
Airplane.
Well, they just did a $3 million renovation, and I know the owners there too, and they wish they knocked it down and built another one because
Oh.
they still have the roach problem. But whatever,
Shoot.
they spent $3 million and there's
Yeah,
still
it was great.
there's still
Yeah,
roaches
we
in
went
there.
with 2 other couples.
Yeah, we're gonna pass that too, so we're almost there. We'll be there in 10
Restaurant.
minutes. Yeah, that's
That's an old one probably too.
yeah, that's one of the most popular Italian restaurants in Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah.
And you have to have reservations to go there. It's an older clientele. Everybody
Yes.
gets dressed up to go there.
We got dressed up.
Yeah, they'll have like a Tony Bennett singer over there and a little band and a guy playing a little drum, and it's it's got a lot of history, that place. A lot of famous people back in the day when they used to come to Fort Lauderdale used to go there. Dan Marino was one of the founders and owners at one time. He was something to do with that. Yeah.
Yeah. That's a restaurant that. Go, buddy, go.
Yeah, so that's coming up first on the right, and then Lester's Diner's second, and then the airport. Yeah. This merges, I believe. Look at this, they're off the ship already. Believe it? Look at this.
Here's a.
They need to have a Bloody Mary on way.
Look at this. Man, I hate when they get off the ship this early. That's ridiculous. Look at the armory over here. This is the Fort Lauderdale Armory. Look at all the military. Look at all the military Hummers and all that, Hummer vehicles and all that. Yeah. So here's Runway 84.
Yep.
If you look, it's all been renovated. $3 million renovation. This building right here.
Yeah, what month did we go?
K-Band.
That restaurant, you guys gotta go
Yeah, we ate
sometime.
there.
It's
Yeah, that's very popular. And then this is Lester's. I believe the sign says 1967 on the front.
Yeah, you like this place.
Yeah, this place right here.
Look at it. Oh, we gotta go.
See,
Oh,
look,
wow.
see, it says 1967.
Yeah.
Open 24 hours a day. And there used to be another
21.
famous diner in Fort Lauderdale called Floridian on Las Olas, and that one is only open till 11 now. So the only two old school great diners were Lester's and the Floridian, and now the Floridian, though it's still great, it's not open 24 hours anymore. They decided not to do it because it used to be on Las Olas where all the kids were partying. Now the kids don't party anymore now, so there's no reason. Plus all the strip clubs, they kicked all the strip clubs out. So once the strip clubs got taken out of Fort Lauderdale, there's no need for diners anymore.
Yeah.
Because all the strippers and bartenders and people would go to the diner after the strip club. No more strip clubs, no more nightclubs. There's no more. You don't need you don't need diners anymore. But that one, it was never really tied to the entertainment industry. That was just everyday people.
Just all locals.
Yeah. This is the biggest Mercedes dealership in the country right here.
Red light camera.
You can drive any car. You can drive any car in that dealership, and they'll take it from you and give you a Mercedes.
You've reached your
If you
marked
drive it in
location.
and do it the same day. Any car, they'll give you whatever you want for your car just to get you in a Mercedes. So a lot of these cars are probably not Mercedes. Oh no, they are Mercedes. Oh, they used to be the used cars. I think the used cars are over here. I bet you these cars are not Mercedes. Watch. So these people drove those cars in. Those people drove those cars in and drove out with a Mercedes. Look, there was a Maserati there, an Audi. So yeah, you could drive your car in there, and and then they'll put you in a Mercedes and they'll just put your car in their lot. Yeah, they're the only ones that do that. Most Mercedes dealerships don't take trade-ins. You just buy the car. That's it. They won't buy your car, but they'll buy your car there. Only if you buy a Mercedes. All right, so let's tell this guy.
Jumping on Terminal 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what Renee and Larry, runway.
Yeah, she always wanted to go there. Oh, that runway. Yeah.
The other one is called Cafe Martirano.
Okay.
You ever heard of that one?
No. Is that Italian?
Yeah. Steve Martirano. He has a restaurant in Fort Lauderdale on Oakland Park Boulevard and the Intercoastal, and that's probably that's in the same category. There's three. There's Cafe Martirano, Runway 84, and Casa D'Angelo. Those are the three big Italian hotspot restaurants in Fort Lauderdale. Yeah. And they all been open for like 20 years, at least. So they're like old school, famous for that reason because they've been
So
open.
the runway had a roach problem.
Yeah, and it's still they didn't get rid of. They did a renovation and the roaches never left. So I know the guys that do the valet there, and sometimes I go in there and get a little something to go. I like the mussels in there. They have Mediterranean mussels. It's called Corsa Bianco, and sometimes the valet guys. Yeah, they love it too. And I hire the valet guys sometimes as drivers. They're really good drivers, the valet guys. So, but they always told me, they said that ever since they opened, they still have the same problem with the rodents and stuff. And the owner said after all the money he spent for the renovation, he says he wished he would have knocked it down and rebuilt it because he owns the land. He says he wished he would have knocked it down and built a new building because it would have got rid of the rodents. They still have the insects and the rodents now.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they never left. Must be only one or two ships here because when there's a lot of ships, the airport's crowded this morning. So it must be not that busy this morning.
Nice.
The port. Yeah, the Fort Lauderdale port. Yeah. You guys, this is JetBlue too. You can go right to the store right here.
Okay. Thank you so much.
You guys have any kids in here or no? No kids, right? No babies, right? I'm just
No babies.
no, I'm used to saying hold on to the kids, but there are no kids in the van. Okay. Never mind. Never mind. watch ahead. Look, when you get out,
All right.